The worst and most frustrating mistake you can make is to assume that when it comes to learning how to use Denari, that you'll just pick it up. Databases are not like word processors. You may have fired up Microsoft Word and instinctively been able to type a letter and hit the print button, but you probably can't use many or most of the features that Word offers unless you get training. A database program like Denari is even more complicated. To be successful, you have to understand your data and how to use the software. To be honest, there is a significant learning curve. You've invested in the software to help you raise money. Now you need to invest in training to help you get the most from your investment. There are 4 options available for training. The first is these videos. Most of the major topics are covered here, and we'll continue to add to them as time goes on. They are free, and you can view them as often as you like and in whatever order you would like on your schedule. Need to brush up on gift entry? Come back and work through just that video. Hire a new staff person? Send them here first. The second option is web training. Customized web training time can be purchased when you feel it's needed. Just contact our admin office at 1-800-352-0312 or email to sales@denarisoft.com and they'll quote you a price and arrange a time. We try to keep the prices as low as possible so that you can take advantage of this type of training. Web training is done on a customized basis. We cover whatever topics you want with plenty of time for questions and answers. You'll log into a web training session with one of our staff. You'll be able to see that person's desktop and you can have as many people in the class as you want. The third option are the help files. If you prefer to read instructions, you can just click the help button here at the top of Denari. Most of the topics are covered here, and you can work through them as you need them. And then the last option is for one of our staff to come to your site. This method, no doubt, is the most effective, but also the most expensive option. We can come to your location and tailor the training to your staff and your specific needs. For prices and scheduling, contact our admin office at the phone and email address mentioned earlier. Everyone wants custom software. No 2 organizations raise funds in exactly the same way. Unfortunately, custom software is very expensive, but we do try to be as flexible as possible with things like statements that you send to your donors. Denari does offer default versions of thank you receipts, pledge statements, etc., but some of them can be modified somewhat to meet your specific needs. Each statement format is driven by a template, and those templates have pre-programmed fields. For example, the thank you receipt has fields like the name and address fields, the gift date, gift amount, year to date, and others. We can modify those templates by removing fields, rearranging fields, adding text, and adding graphic files like logos. We cannot, however, without custom programming that requires a fee, add fields that aren't already there. The templates reside on our servers, and therefore we need to make the changes. The best and quickest method for that is for you to print out the default as it is now, mark it with the changes you want, scan it, and email it to techsupport@denarisoft.com. We'll make the changes and then ask you to print it again. If there are more changes needed, let us know. We may need to go back and forth a few times until we get it the way you want. And speaking of customizations, software is designed to meet the majority of needs and wants. As mentioned earlier, everyone wants it to work the way they work. Unfortunately, the reality is that customizations are expensive because they may not fit one organization. What you think is a great idea may not be what others want. There are 2 ways to approach changes that you'd like to see in Denari. The first is the least expensive. Simply hit the suggestion button at the top of Denari. Fill in the form and submit. We can make no promises with suggestions, however. When we have programmer time available, we will review the list and pick out those that we believe will assist the most users. If there's a change that you believe is critical for your organization, we are open to custom programming. Customization requires that we allocate programming time to your project, and that will require a fee. You can start the process by clicking the Self-Service tab in Denari, and then clicking the Custom Programming link. Fill in the form. As you can see in the text on this page, you'll be required to pay an analysis fee. Once this form is submitted, someone will contact you to discuss your customization and quote you a price for the work. If you should decide to move forward with the work at the end of the analysis phase, the fee will be applied to that total final. There are several add-on modules to Denari, like the missionary module, share-a-thon module, child sponsorship, etc. And there are training videos available for those. Chances are you've already discussed those with our sales staff, and those modules are already turned on in your Denari company. However, there are two that require some discussion here. The first is Online Community. Online Community is the web portal provided by Denari for your donors. It allows them to make donations and pledges, see their gift history and pledge history, purchase items from an online store, and more. The setup is highly customized in that we try to make the online community pages look similar to your website so that when donors click off your site to the OLC site, there will be a sense of continuity. The setup process can take a week or more depending on other demands. Following the setup, we will schedule about an hour of free web training with you. There is written documentation that you'll find under the Help button at the top of Denari, but OLC is fairly complicated and will require this one-on-one training as well. It is helpful if you have a basic understanding of how Denari works before we begin this process, but when you're ready to let us know, we will get started on the setup process. You also need to have your credit card and EFT account set up with Practical Business Solutions, as mentioned earlier, to allow donations through OLC. The second add-on module that we'll talk about here is e-correspondence. Currently, there are 3 statements that can be sent by email from Denari. They are the thank you receipt, the pledge statement, and the pledge acknowledgement. You'll find instructions for each of these in the Help section of Denari. Like Online Community, they require setup of a custom template for each statement. However, the day-to-day use of e-correspondence is fairly easy and won't require special training. We should note here that there is a monthly fee for each statement and a charge for each email. However, when you calculate the cost of paper, postage, and staff time, the cost to send an email statement is much less than a paper statement. Your donors will also be able to choose which format they prefer, printed or emailed. Again, when you're ready to get started on the template, just let us know. If you're not currently signed up for e-correspondence, you can do that fairly easily. Just click the Self-Service tab in Denari at the top of the page, and then click on the Smart Email Service. Fill in the form there and submit. Someone will contact you to begin the template setup process. This concludes this training session. Our purpose for this session is to fill in some of the information holes and help you get started a little more quickly with Denari, and we hope we've done that. If you have any questions, please contact our tech support office through the support button at the top of the Denari page.